there's actually one question in the chat. So what if you have a good reason to be angry at the other person instead of suppressing it? Listen, if you have been really low, like lower than anger, then yes, shift into anger. And sometimes if there has been a period of time where you have been angry and also trying not to be, right? You've been angry, but you've been trying to be positive. You've been angry, but you've been trying to be loving, right? So if there's a situation where you've been angry and not really allowing yourself, then giving yourself permission to just be angry could feel better. It could feel better to just be like, you know what? I'm angry right now. Because anger with guilt is lower, right? We could put that in here, right? Anger with guilt, right? So anger without guilt would be an improvement. So if you want for the person who wrote that in, if you want to you want to follow up, you want to talk through that a little bit, or if you have a follow-up question, then you can pop it in the chat. And just for the record, no matter what emotion you're feeling, there's good reasons for it, right? There are facts. There are situations. Something happened. Somebody did something, right? And a lot of times the list of what somebody else or the situation did really makes it seem like it's not you. I get that. This is the worst part because on some level, we're manifesting everything. Now, here's the key. If somebody did something mean to you, they keyed your car, you're like, well, how did I manifest somebody keying my car? How did I manifest this accident? How did I manifest this disease? How did I manifest somebody being like straight up mean to me? It's not that piece. You're not manifesting that thing. You are manifesting how the thing makes you feel. So you could have 3 people who get in a car accident, but they all feel different. One's excited because they get a new car and insurance is going to pay for it. One is feeling like this is another thing, more bills. And the other person is feeling like guilt or victim, right? And so if you have somebody who has treated you really poorly, then you can say, well, how did that make me feel? Well, maybe it made you feel powerless. Maybe it made you feel like not worthy. And so when you start taking those things, you then start seeing trends throughout your life. Well, I felt not worthy all these other times. I felt insecure all of these other times leading up to this. So the universe is manifesting things around us, matching how we will feel. So if we have had a trend of being frustrated, then we will manifest random ass things that make us frustrated. If we are feeling angry, we are going to manifest things that will continue to make us angry. So the whole thing with law of attraction beyond this is the only way for it to really start working is there's got to be this little switch. And I can't make you do this switch. And maybe you can make yourself do the switch. Maybe you're not ready. But be observant. And it's okay if you're not doing the switch, as long as you almost know what's going on, right? As long as you prefer to be correct over preferring to feel good, this will never work. I do this sometimes. Sometimes I get into a thing and I know what I'm doing. I know I've manifested it. I know I'm a match to it. And I also know that I am currently preferring to be right. And so I know I'm not going to be able to harness the power of law of attraction. So this is the question for yourself. Are you ready to allow yourself to not be correct? Because I know the details. I know this person did this. I know the economy did this. I know the company did this. I know that the institution, I know the pharmaceutical companies, I know the insurance companies, I know that the people, the exes, I know they all did shit. Okay. I know they all did shit and it's real and you didn't make it up. Right. But as long as we talk about those details and as long as the facts continue to be the most relevant piece and you prefer to be right over feeling good, this shit just can't work. So making the shift means like, you're like, oh my God, you're whacking yourself in the head and you're like, okay, I'm done. I'm done being right. I don't need to be right. I do not need to be right. I need to feel better because that's the only goddamn thing that matters, is that I start feeling better. And so you just can't really be looking at what people did that made you angry and be flexing more powerful positive emotions at the same time. So that's up to you. That's up to you. And maybe you need a noodle on this, right? Maybe you need a noodle on this a little bit. Maybe you've got to write that down. Do I prefer to be right, or do I prefer to feel better? Because right now you're like, well, shit, I didn't realize I have to choose, right? So maybe, J-Rock, I'll get you in a minute. Maybe you didn't realize you have to choose, but you do have to choose. And you don't need to be ready right now, but this is the question and you can write it down. Do I prefer to feel better, or do I prefer to be right? And ideally, you would like to shift into feeling better, because once you prioritize feeling better, once you can shift into the essence of, fuck it, it just doesn't matter. The details just don't matter. And maybe you need to make decisions in your life and so you don't know, but that's something different. That's uncertainty, right? So we can work with that. We can kind of shift up. So that's it. Did you write it down, guys? Did you write that shit down? Do you prefer to be right, or do you prefer to feel better? And you can write down, you know what? I give myself permission. Let me identify where I am, and then maybe that's going to make sense. Maybe you've been down here and you're trying to get up here, and it's frustrating trying to get down here. So in the pursuit of trying to be positive, we're manifesting being frustrated. This is huge, right? But if we then say, I don't have to be positive right now. I don't have to be positive right now. But I think I could get annoyed. I think I could chill out a little enough to be annoyed. And then you get annoyed and you're like, ha ha ha, it worked. I'm a little annoyed. And Aaliyah said I get to celebrate that. So, all right, bam, I'm going to chill out here. This does feel better than being angry. So I'm going to chill out and annoyed because this does feel better. And I promise you, soon enough, you'll be able to shift into meh. And then soon enough, you'll be able to go into neutral.